Thank you, Professor Gonzalez. Now I'd like to call on our last panelist, Ms. Nicola Armacost, Managing Director of ARC Finance in the U.S., who's going to be sharing with us her remarks for the next 8 minutes.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Thanks to Sam and to Larry and to my fellow panelists for 2 really interesting papers. I wanted to open by saying, Sam, I don't know if you planned this intentionally, but there is this quite fantastically great omen that I discovered just before coming out to the panel. I was chatting to the chairman of NABARD, and I found out that his first name, Prakash, means light. And I think that's a fantastic omen. So with him in the center, I think we can't go wrong moving forward. During this week, there's been a lot of soul-searching about the state of the microfinance industry. I've heard people say we need to go back to the basics. Everyone nods, but I wonder to myself whether we're all talking about the same thing. When I think about the basics, I think about basic human needs: food security, access to clean water, to clean energy, to sanitation, to shelter, things that most of us in this room take for granted, but also things that have not been the focus for most MFIs. These 2 papers are a perfect way to end a very interesting set of plenaries and workshops, because they not only take us back to these basics, they also highlight some fascinating innovations by a select group of MFIs, and I would argue that they point a way forward for others. In my comments, I'm going to focus on the paper that Alex wrote. And the first point I want to address is the question of climate change. Some of you, I'm sure, are thinking, what has climate change got to do with my clients or my MFI? Well, I want to tell you a story. Last year I was in Afghanistan, and I met a farmer who said something quite striking. He said, "We're getting the wrong kind of rain." And I thought to myself, what does that mean, the wrong kind of rain? And we asked him, and he said, it used to be that we would get snow in the winter, and it would stay on the mountains, and then it would melt, and in the spring and summer, it would snow, it would rain, and we would get the kind of water that we needed to irrigate our fields. He says, now, we don't get the snow in the winter, it comes in the spring, and in huge rushes, and it floods our fields. We can't grow our crops. Our families are suffering. Our children are suffering. We can't grow food. Sure enough, this conversation took place just before the terrible floods in Pakistan, where many people lost their homes. The farmer didn't say, we're suffering as a result of climate change. He said, we're getting the wrong kind of rain. There are people like him all over the world. Some of them are getting too much rain, some of them are getting not enough rain, some of them are dealing with more frequent and much more violent storms or tsunamis. It really doesn't matter what you call it, climate change or disaster mitigation or something else. As Alex points out in his paper, our clients are already living with climate change, and there are a number of things that MFIs can do to help them, including safety nets like crop, livestock, and weather insurance, or savings products when crops fail, livestock die, and food prices rise, emergency recourses when homes and property are destroyed by natural disasters and environmental degradation, and loans for modern energy options which help to stabilize fluctuations in fuel costs and increase energy efficiency. One of the key points Alex makes in his paper is that energy lending is fundamentally about improving the livelihoods of poor people. Even though this year we have reached a record number of entrepreneurs through microfinance, most of them still don't have clean lights for their homes, clean water, or any water for that matter, running from their taps, household latrines, or a place to charge their cell phones. Just as poor entrepreneurs want to increase their incomes and build their assets, they also very much want to improve the quality of life of their families. Those MFIs that engage in energy lending don't spend hours agonizing over whether it's a productive loan or a consumer loan. They understand that a loan designed to increase energy access for poor people is about livelihood improvement. They understand also that while it might have a directly productive purpose, such as solar lights that extend the workday, it will also have a quality of life improvement purpose, such as reducing indoor air pollution from kerosene and providing light for study. And arguably, best of all, it will have the indirect economic benefit, once the loan is paid, of saving any income that would otherwise have been spent on dirty fuel. This is real cash in hand for poor people. It really matters. Once MFIs understand that loans for clean energy are not like a loan to buy a TV, they can also get their heads around other livelihood investments, such as more efficient and clean cook stoves that reduce air pollution. Alex notes that most MFIs engaging in energy lending are doing so in response to client demand. This is a key point. As their incomes increase, MFI clients aspire to a standard of living above where they view themselves to be, and this includes access to energy for their businesses and homes. When we did market research with clients in Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and Argentina, while they were interested in low-cost solar lamps, they didn't want products that they thought looked like toys. They wanted products that, in their view, were the types of things middle-class people would have. Developing an appropriate energy loan product for clients is just like any other product development process. MFIs need to carry out market research to understand the energy needs, expenditure patterns, and tastes of their clients, so that they can be sure to create a responsive financing mechanism for the right type of energy product. MFIs also need to work out the best delivery model for their country or institutional context. There are a range of models that MFIs have used to provide financing for energy. Alex notes quite a few of them in the paper, and some are easier than others to replicate in a different country context. The model most MFIs adopt is that of a partnership with an energy company that supplies and services the energy product. MFIs such as Sewa Bank and Basics in India, Foncozy in Haiti, Prestamic in Nicaragua, NWTF and Card Bank in the Philippines, KWFT and Faulo in Kenya have all adopted this approach, and their models are all a little bit different. What is key, though, is to have a reputable and reliable partner and a clear and mutually beneficial partnership arrangement that ensures quality after-sales service for the client. It's also very important for the MFI to think strategically about how it will operationalize energy lending within its organization. And here, examples of what has not worked are as instructive as the examples that have worked. Beyond properly assessing demand and choosing the right partners, most of the other things that an MFI needs to do in developing and rolling out an energy loan are common sense. For example, securing top management buy-in, carrying out a robust risk analysis, training and incentivizing staff. But it's always surprising to me how often a key success factor is missed. A classic mistake is where an MFI fails to consider the impact of its national energy policy, and just as it's finished rolling out its loans for solar products, it finds out the government has planned to expand the grid right into the area that it's operating in. There is a growing interest by investors and donors for triple bottom line returns, and providing energy loans gives MFIs the opportunity to deliver against some interesting and arguably less difficult than poverty indicators to measure. Reducing CO2 emissions not only gives you a pretty cool new indicator to report against, but also potentially provides a source of revenue that, if done in a smart way, can offset the cost of the energy program. Microenergy credits that Alex mentioned earlier has done a terrific job in helping partner MFIs work out how to navigate the carbon market. In addition, improved energy sources have a huge impact on women and girls, since they are the ones who are usually responsible for collecting fuel. Times can range from 1 hour to 8 hours per household per day. As a result of collecting fuel, the participation of girls in school and the ability of women to pursue other income-earning activities are both limited. Women and girls spend more time in the home and are more likely to be exposed to the indoor air pollution resulting from cooking with biomass fuels. With access to cleaner, affordable energy options, women and girls benefit directly through improved health, enhanced educational opportunities, and increased incomes. For microfinance organizations that target women as their main clients, being able to measure these direct improvements in women's lives is an added bonus. I'm just about to finish. You did that at the perfect time, Sam. In the coming year, there will be a number of high-level discussions on expanding energy access around the world. Next year is the UN Year of Sustainable Energy. There are a number of donor initiatives to promote access to clean energy for the poor, and lack of end-user finance for clean energy has been identified as one of the key factors to impeding energy access. These will be fantastic learning opportunities and partnership opportunities for MFIs that are interested in getting involved in energy lending. And I'd like to finish by reminding you about what a young woman said this morning in David's visioning plenary session. She said that her dream was that in 50 years, she'd like us to be living in a world where renewables are the primary source of energy. Well, my dream is that her dream becomes a reality, and I invite all of you who are interested to join us. Thank you.